Hello, my name is Sheila Mahon and I'm the International Officer at the National College of Ireland. This presentation is about the essentials to get established in Ireland for the incoming group of students starting in January 2026. So these pilot shoes represent all of the questions that we know that incoming students have. How do I register with immigration? How do I open a bank account? When can I start working? How many hours can I work? What is a PPSN and why do I need it? What we hope to achieve today is that from this presentation you'll be able to organise all of these questions into neat sections and you'll know where to get the information as and when you need it. However, it's not a one-size shoe that fits all. The reason being is that some students are in different stages of the process than others, but it'll be clearer as we go through the presentation. So what are the essentials that we'll cover today? We're going to cover one essential thing that you need to do to help yourself, two essential things that you need to action, three essential things that you need to know, and four essential things that you need to do to establish yourself in Ireland. So what's the one essential thing that you need to do to help yourself? Well, that's knowing where the support hub is and what it's for. The NCI Support Hub is a knowledge database and a central repository for all the frequently asked questions that students have at NCI. So you'll find it under the International Student Support section on the website, or you can simply use whatever search engine and look for NCI Support Hub and it'll bring you straight to the system. So this is what it looks like. It's best that you log in using your student account details. So that's your username, which is your email ID and the password that you've set. And then in the support hub, you can either ask questions in this section here or search by department and read the articles. So for example, you can select international and we recommend that you look at the article Getting Started as a New International Student. Some of you may be wondering, well, what's my student account and how do I set one up? You could search student account and you'll find an article on that. If you cannot find the answer to your question, you can submit a request. And you do that by selecting the submit request at the top of the screen. When you select submit request, you'll be presented with the list of departments that you can submit your request to, such as international for questions on immigration or settling into life in Ireland. You'd email academic operations or submit a request to academic operations around any queries you have on your programme. If you query on attendance or the attendance system, you'd email or submit a request to attendance, etc. So it's very straightforward. And once you submit a request, you will get a reply. So the one essential thing that you need to do to help yourself is to use the NCI Support Hub. This is the central repository and the first place that you will go to for all frequently asked questions. As I said, if you cannot find the answer to your question, you can submit a request from the Support Hub to the appropriate team. So what's the second thing? So two essential things that you need to action. And they are updating your My Details, which is in your student record with your Irish address, is the first thing. And the second thing you need to action is how to generate or know where you can generate letters with the Student Letter Hub. So how do you update your My Details? Well, this is the system icon. So you will find the My Details is your view of the NCI student information system. So it has your personal information and you will access My Details to update your Irish address, your Irish mobile number and your PPSN. So if you're new to Ireland and if when you applied to Ireland, obviously you wouldn't have had an Irish address or contact details, then you need to go into your My Details and update your record with that information. You can find the My Details system through the My Apps portal. And I've linked the My Apps portal here, so you'll be able to access that directly from a copy of these slides. So when you go into the My Details system, you will be presented with this page here. So you'll log in obviously with your username and password, and you'll edit both your home and mailing address with your Irish address. So there's two parts that you'll edit: your home and your mailing address with your Irish address. You need to allow 24 hours for your address to be updated on all systems within NCI. And it's really important that you do not edit your name, your date of birth on this system. We have an article on the Support Hub, How Do I Update My Irish Address and PPSN? So you can link to that article from here or search for it on the Support Hub. And that article covers all the important information you need to know about how to update your address, including the format for addresses in Ireland. Okay, so the second thing that you need to action is how to self-generate your letters on the Student Letter Hub. So how do you access the Letter Hub? That's through a system called NCI 360, and you'll find NCI 360 on the Apps portal. So it's the NCI My Apps portal. So this Letter Hub is only available to registered students. So all new international students will be automatically registered once they have submitted their registration form, had a full offer, and paid their fees or set up a payment plan. And the date that full registration will be completed by and when we can access the Letter Hub is the 14th of January. So how do you self-generate your letters? When you log on to the Letter Hub, you will be presented with a number of letters that are displayed here. So you'll simply just select the letter it is that you want. There's no limit on the number of letters that you can request or how often you can request them. And once you've requested your letter, it will be automatically emailed to your student email. So you'll receive it within minutes to your student email account. So how can I get more information about letters? We have an article on how do I request a letter, and that has more detailed information on all the letters that are available. So you can link on that letter here or search for it in the Letter Hub. Some letters include your address. So if you want a letter such as your bank letter, a reference letter, or your PPSN letter to include your Irish address, you must have updated your My Details first, waited 24 hours, and then your address will be updated in the Letter Hub. Okay, so we've covered now the one essential thing you need to do to help yourself, which is about using the NCI Support Hub. The two essential things that you need to action, which are: one, you need to update your My Details with your Irish address, and two, how to generate letters with the Student Letter Hub. So we'll now move to the third thing, which is three essential things that you need to know. And they are: you need to know about working in Ireland and what the rules are as an international student. You need to know about travel, and in particular, you need to be aware of Northern Ireland. And you need to be aware of attendance and what's required of you as a student at NCI regarding attendance. So working in Ireland. Firstly, the rules around working in Ireland are set by the Irish government and not NCI. Your student visa, so when you register with immigration and you have your student visa and your IRP card, that gives you a concession to work up to 20 hours a week without a work permit. You can work full-time 2 times during the year. So during the summer holiday between the 1st of June and the 30th of September, and over the Christmas holiday from the 15th of December to 15th of January. So these dates are set by the Irish government and not NCI. And some employers may be unsure, particularly if you're looking for part-time work, maybe in a bar or in a restaurant while you're studying. Some employers may be unsure about the rules for international students to work in Ireland. So the casual work letter in the Letter Hub confirms these rules and will help you when you're searching for part-time work. So we have an article in the Support Hub around the rules for working when you're in Ireland, and you can request a letter from the Letter Hub if you need it. So regarding travel outside the Republic of Ireland. So on the map of Ireland there, you'll see the north part of Ireland is in yellow. That represents Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK. And depending on your nationality and the reason for travel, you may need a visa or an electronic travel authorization, an ETA, to travel to the UK. That includes Northern Ireland. So although there's no physical border between the Republic of Ireland and the Northern Ireland, it really is important that you understand your requirements based on your nationality if you need a visa to travel there. So we have an article on how to travel outside the Republic of Ireland. It includes information on Schengen visas. And ultimately, it's your responsibility to ensure that you understand what the requirements are for travelling to other countries. But we also have a letter that you can request from the Letter Hub to support any visa applications you have for travelling while you're in Ireland and while you're a student at NCI. Just one more point regarding travelling to Northern Ireland. Although there's no physical border, as I mentioned, immigration on both sides, so from the Republic of Ireland or immigration from Northern Ireland, do spot checks. So they might board trains or board buses or stop cars where they will be checking for reasons for visiting or being in the country and looking for appropriate paperwork. So it's really important that you have that. So lastly, attendance. So we want you to succeed at your studies, okay? And it's really important that you attend classes in order to give yourself the best chance to succeed at your studies. NCI expects students to attend all of their classes and all of their events associated with their course. And from January, from this intake, NCI will monitor attendance with an attendance system called SEATS. Attendance monitoring for all students is managed by the student support team at NCI. And as international students, immigration expects students to attend their classes and to progress in their studies and complete on time. So just regarding attendance, this is some recent graduate advice. So when students graduate, we ask them to fill in a survey. And this particular student, their advice is keep working hard and focus on the classes as they're very important. So we have some articles and policies and procedures around attendance. So I've linked them here. What is the attendance requirement, which confirms that you're required to go to all your classes. There's also additional articles under support services around the SEAT system. You know, how to download it, how to track your attendance, if there's a problem with attendance, with you using the attendance system, how you can contact student services about that. And this is a link to the policy on learner attendance and engagement. So we obviously will be getting, or always get, quite a lot of questions around attendance, and I'll go through those now with you. So one of the questions is, well, what if I miss classes? Okay, if you miss a class, you're marked as absent. The attendance monitoring system is about recording students who are in the class. So if you're absent for whatever reason, if you were sick, for example, you just keep a record of that. Okay, so even if you have a reasonable excuse you were sick, that won't change your attendance. Okay, but you will have a record that you were sick. Maybe you went to the doctor, you'll have a doctor's certificate. So you should keep a record of that. So there is an article on what happens if I miss class that you can refer to that I've linked here. What if you need to travel, whether an emergency or whether there's a planned event taking place? So if you're planning a trip or, to home or to other countries, you need to refer to the academic calendar because you should only be planning those trips when classes aren't scheduled. Okay? We won't provide permission for whatever reason that you have to travel to miss classes during your program. Can you get a letter to show proof of attendance for immigration? So there is no letter that has a percentage attendance on it. International support provide letters to all incoming new students to register with immigration or to renew their permission. So they're the only letters that you need for immigration. When will we get information on the attendance system seats? So detailed information will be provided at the orientation session, which takes place the week before classes start. So it'll be taking place on Thursday, the 14th of January. And like I said, the NCI Support Hub has a number of articles on attendance, which I've linked here on this presentation for you. Okay, so we've now covered the one essential thing that you need to do to help yourself, which is use the Support Hub. The two essential things that you need to action: update My Details with your Irish address, self-generate your letters with the Letter Hub. And the three things, or essential things, that you need to know are about working in Ireland, travelling outside the Republic of Ireland, and attendance, and how to record your attendance. So now we'll go through the four essential things that you need to establish yourself in Ireland. And they are: secure your accommodation. This is the first thing that you need to do because you must have your accommodation before you can do the next three things, which are opening a traditional bank account at the High Street Bank, getting your PPS, and registering with immigration. And I'm going to go through each of these now in detail with you. So, accommodation. So NCI do not own or manage an accommodation placement service. So you need to secure that accommodation yourself. We have got a lot of information on our website, which is linked here for you, on accommodation. And we also would have covered it in detail during the pre-arrival programme. And there's a recording of that session on YouTube, which I've linked here for you. And then in the Welcome Programme on the 6th of January, there was an online workshop with Spot a Home. So you must secure your accommodation before you can, as you cannot use an address of a hostel or a hotel or Airbnb to open a traditional high street bank account, apply for a PPSN, or register with immigration. So now the next thing is about opening a bank account. So there are traditional high street banks, and we also have digital current accounts. So our high street banks in Ireland are AIB, Bank of Ireland, and Permanent TSB. Digital current accounts are the banks that don't have a high street present and are solely online. And there's more and more of them opening up, but the most popular ones would be MoneyJar, Revolut, N26. I know there's another one now that's used, Bung. But what you need to open a traditional bank account or a bank account with a high street bank is you can either open online or make an appointment in person. We recommend strongly that you open an account online, and you'll need proof of ID, which is your passport. If you're opening a student account with the bank, so it's more favourable to open a student bank account, as generally there's no fees or charges for students in full-time education. So they will require evidence that you're a full-time student. So they'll look for your student card and a letter from NCI and proof of address. So generally with proof of address, that would be a utility bill in your name with your address on it. Or you can request the NCI bank letter that has your address on it. And that letter just confirms the address that you've given NCI as your address in Ireland. So they're the things that you need in order to open a traditional high street bank account. For a digital current account, We have MoneyJar there. They are an Irish digital current account, and you'll require proof of ID, verification of your ID, which is generally a selfie. You can use any address, even a temporary address, when you're opening the account initially. Some of you may have opened it before you even travelled to Ireland, and they will look for your Irish residency permit. So your Irish residency permit you'll only have after you've registered with immigration, and they give you time. So you can set up your account with MoneyJar first, and then you can upload your Irish residency permit within 90 days. Okay. MoneyJar do have an offer for NCI students with a free monthly fee for 9 months. And I've linked to the article and the code to use there for opening an account or for getting that promotion with MoneyJar. So we have an NCI Support Hub article on how to open a bank account, which goes through all of this information in detail. Next, we're going to talk about the PPSN, which is the Personal Public Service Number. Everyone in Ireland has one. It's generally for tax purposes and dealing with government departments. So it is required for your studies, and obviously if you plan to work in Ireland. So you must be in Ireland and have started an NCI before you can actually apply for a PPSN. And you must have secured your accommodation and updated your address on My Details. So the documents that are required for a PPSN are proof of identity, your passport, proof of address, so the NCI PPS letter, which has your Irish address. And again, you can request this letter on NCI 360 with the letter hub, and evidence of why you need the letter. So the NCI PPS letter confirms that you need your PPSN for your studies. So once you have those documents, the next step that you need to go through is you need to open a MyGov ID account. And then once you've done that, you can apply for your PPSN at My Welfare. And then once you've done that and uploaded the required documents, you will be invited to an in-person appointment. And then you'll be issued with your PPSN. We have an article on how to apply for a PPSN. And one thing we ask you to remember is that when you get your PPSN, you go back into your My Details and update your student record with your PPSN number. It's really important because your PPSN is required for you to graduate from NCI. So to attend the graduation ceremony, you will have to have updated your record with your PPSN. So lastly, registering with immigration for the first time. So students who've just arrived in Ireland have 90 days to register with immigration. You can only register with immigration after you've started your studies, so after the 19th of January. And registration is by appointment only. Your appointment to register is in person and is in Burkey, which is in Dublin 2, which is just across the river from NCI and about a 10-minute walk. So how to book an appointment, there are a few steps that you need to go through. So the first thing you need to do is you need to set up a customer service account with immigration. And to do that, you'll need your email address and you'll need access to your mobile number and your passport because you'll have to upload it. So once you've set up your customer service account with immigration and uploaded those documents, the second step will be that immigration will verify your ID with an ID PAL application. So you will have to download the ID PAL app. You'll have a verification code for the app, which will be sent to your mobile phone. You'll have to log into the ID PAL app and upload your passport and take a selfie. And then once you've done that, it'll take up to 24 hours for your identity to be verified. And once your identity has been verified, the final step is to book an appointment. You'll be advised that you can go onto your immigration customer service account and book your appointment. So it is very busy at immigration. There are still some students who started in September who are only getting appointments in January, February, March. So don't be surprised when you go on to immigration that your appointment is 3 months out. Don't worry if you can only get an appointment after the 90 days. Once you've secured that appointment, you're still legal in Ireland, so you won't have any problems. So some students have issues with the ID, have had in the past issues with the ID PAL app, and there is an email address there that I've linked for you. So if you have problems, you can, with the ID PAL app, you can contact a particular email address. So some things to consider when you're registering with immigration. Once you've made your appointment, when you attend your appointment, there are a number of documents that you'll need to bring with you. And then when you're at your appointment, they will take your, it'll be about 30 minutes. They will take your photograph and some biometrics. And after your appointment, your IRP card, your Irish residency permit, will be posted to your address within 10 to 15 working days. So we ask that when you receive your card to check it's correct. It's really important you do that when you receive it first so that it can be corrected for you. So you need to check the name is correct and spelled correctly, the date of birth. Does it have the correct stamp on it? Because obviously if you're a student, you'll be looking for a stamp 2 student visa. And does it have the correct expiry date? If you have any queries regarding your account, I've linked here the support hub articles, and I've linked the immigration information if you have any queries regarding registering with immigration or your IRP card. So just to sum up, these are the essential things to get established in Ireland. So we've gone through the one essential thing that you need to do to help yourself, which is use the NCI support hub for all frequently asked questions. And if you can't find the answer to your question, you can submit a request to the appropriate team. 2 essential things that you need to action. So you need to update your My Details with your Irish address, and you need to generate your letters on the Student Letter Hub. The 3 essential things that you need to know, which are about working in Ireland, and once you're registered with immigration and have your IRP card, that will give you the concession to work in Ireland. The rules for working in Ireland are set by immigration and not NCI, and you can work 20 hours a week and 40 hours a week at 2 times during the year, Christmas and summer. Travelling outside of Ireland, and particularly to the UK, and the fact that Northern Ireland is part of the UK, and how important it is that you have the appropriate visas and paperwork if you're travelling. And attendance. Really important that you attend your classes. It gives you the best chance at succeeding. And the NCI require you attend all your classes, and immigration expect the reason you're in Ireland is to be a full-time student. So immigration expect that you attend all your classes and that you progress as planned and graduate as planned. The 4 essential things that you need to do to establish yourself in Ireland are you need to secure your accommodation. That's important because you cannot set up, your bank account or PPS when you're in a hostel or in an Airbnb. Open a bank account. We talked a bit about traditional high street banks and digital current accounts. Some students get a digital current account initially and then take their time and open a student account over the coming months. PPSN, how it's important and you need it for your studies, and you need to update your student record with your PPSN so you can graduate from NCI, but your PPSN will also be required if you plan to work in Ireland. And finally, how to register with immigration. Thank you very much, and I'd like to wish you a very warm welcome to NCI.